As you know, we should always strive to make dua part of our daily regime, part of our daily practice.
I'm really enjoying these du'as. They're enlightening and they're nice to obviously discuss and have.
Inspirational and learning so much.
Absolutely. So again, today we have Brother Haider Jaizani. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah, it was good to see you. It was a pleasure, you know, it was a pleasure.
I mean, I love these. I honestly love these. These discussions about du'as and stuff like that, because no one actually looks at it in a normal day-to-day in deep depth.
I think it's nice to have your input, because obviously as a reciter we are blessed to hear you, but to hear some knowledge from you and to have some background, it's really.
I'm not a scholar. I'm a reciter, but I'm just giving the input that I feel. How I feel when I recite these ad'iyah, and how I think it should. I'm giving my opinion on how I think people should take their importance.
And I'm sure that there's some that many people are getting benefit, and regardless of you being a scholar or not, people are gaining benefit.
Alhamdulillah,
it's your gift. It's your gift.
No, it's a blessing. It's a blessing from Allah Subhanahu wa Taala. I mean, we have the main ad'iyah like du'a kumayl, du'a tawassul. All these ones which we do regularly, and it's beautiful. But these are short ones. Help, it's every little help. That's what we need. Everything small thing for Allah Subhanahu wa Taala to be happy with us.
And I'm sure our viewers are enjoying it as much as we are learning
inshallah,
blessing. So today's du'a, which we will be talking about, it's one that is recited at sunrise, and there's a mention of it being in the book of al-Rabi from Muhammad al-Mustakin. And so do you want to just give us a bit of a brief background to
So with this one, Ibn Tawus Muhsabat al-Nafs from the book al-Rabi, there's a narration where the sun, when it reaches the peak of the mountains, the Prophet would cry and recite this special dua, which says, "Oh Allah, the day has come while my oppression has sought refuge in your forgiveness, and my sins have sought refuge in your pardon. My fear have sought refuge in your security, and I've given everything towards you. If I'm scared, Allah Subhanahu wa Taala, then I've given myself towards you. If I'm angry, oh Allah, then I've given it towards you." So, as we said earlier in a different episode, we said that anger, whenever you get angry, there's narrations to remember Allah Subhanahu wa Taala. So this is what it's full down to. So whenever you get angry, Ya Allah, and then just soothe your pain. So you can better your akhlaq to other people, and just ask Allah Subhanahu wa Taala for the simplest things. Oh Allah, grant me well-being. Oh Allah, grant me good health. Oh Allah, for your sake, give me patience.
Are we asking? Are we really begging and imploring? What's the spirit of this particular?
Of course we're begging. We're all begging from Allah Subhanahu wa Taala, but begging and asking, the only difference between them is if you really want something, you beg for it.
If you know how desperate you are, you beg, right?
You beg. So we are begging because we are desperate from Allah Subhanahu wa Taala. Asking is Allah says, ask me. There's different ways. Allah says, ask me and I'll give you. Okay, but if you're begging to someone, you're showing the importance of that someone, of how bad you want it. Now Imam Ali says, "As'aluni qabla an tafquduni." Ask me before you lose me. This is Amir al-Mu'mineen. Ask me before you lose me. But when you go into what he means there, he means of the knowledge side of everything. So there's a difference. For Allah Subhanahu wa Taala, you want it so bad, you're going to beg Him for your mercy on your knees.
It's interesting in this. I just wonder, when the sun is rising and the daylight spreads, the phenomenon between night and day is just, sometimes you can look at the contrast, and stark contrast. At this point, the redness of the sun, and he's crying, tears are flowing, and he's speaking to Allah, being the greatest of creation, in his humility to Allah and begging Him. And you think, from his position, where we can say he could have that arrogance, he could have that, security that I'm accepted, I'm the Prophet. And so we're talking about needs and wants. I don't know if that's, the context of what the Prophet is. He's begging for security, his protection, Allah's protection. And I think even when, in our context, are we always looking at wanting from God, or should we be looking at Allah to say, you are worthy of being praised, not just for our needs, which obviously we never-ending list that we have. But it's just beautiful how he's actually in his position speaking to Allah.
And if the Prophet begs, who are we?
Yeah,
exactly. I mean, the Prophet, when he says, when he says, "Oh Allah, help us with the punishment of your grave." Do you think Rasulullah is going to receive any punishments?
Yeah.
But he's saying it for what reason? To show
to
us.
Teach us. Yeah,
to teach us what? To teach us. I am a prophet. I am infallible. I've never committed a sin, and I'm still scared of adhab al-qabr, of the punishment of the grave. So who are we? So how scared should we be, normal human beings who sin every single day? Adhab al-qabr is not something easy. Wahshat al-qabr, when you're by yourself inside your qabr, in your grave, it's probably going to be the worst thing you ever.
The Imams used to cry for us, didn't they?
Exactly.
Imam Sajjad used to cry for his Shia. He used to cry for the people.
As human beings, we don't like being alone.
No.
Exactly.
We're social beings. We don't like isolation. There's one way that you can make people I mean, sometimes we like our own space for a moment for reflection, but we don't want to be
but how long
left
do you want that
alone.
exactly.
We want to be abandoned.
Exactly.
We like to be around.
You like someone coming to ask you, what's up? What's wrong? No, but at that time you're not going to have that.
Loneliness is it's a bad thing.
In this country, I was reading, there's a senior minister that's been appointed as it's inverted commas, loneliness minister, to reduce the loneliness in the UK, because people, the way that society's going, it's just really horrendous.
Loneliness can kill.
Yeah.
Loneliness can kill. I mean, there's a lot of research which has proved that loneliness is what leads to many illnesses, depression, anxiety. All these things, and anxiety is one of the top killers right now.
Do you think, even when we talk about loneliness, and you're saying that we have that time we want to be alone, and I think nature is something that gives you that sort of connection, and even when you're alone, but in our du'as we're taught that you're never alone. Allah is always with us.
Very good point, of course.
And that when we have the time, for instance, at Fajr, when it's all quiet and peaceful, to have that time in loneliness with Allah, that's a mercy and blessing. But I think in the other times when the daytime, when obviously life is getting hectic, and we don't want to be alone in those moments where
no, Allah's beauty opens your heart.
Yeah.
So when he says the peak of when the sun hits the peak of the mountain, I ask you, when is the most beautiful part of the day? It's Fajr. When I leave quite early for work, so when I open the door and I see the sun just coming up, the redness of the skies, I love that. I love that. Like proper, like me, I'm the type of person who likes going to like really nice views, like mountains, hills, or something like that, just to look at a view and just sit down and think over. If you have like a equation at work that you want to solve, you literally go up there and just reflect your mind. Even if you're stressed, you go up there. If you're Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, ya Allah, it's just me and you.
Yeah.
Because there's no one around you.
Did you get the answer?
Hopefully, I hope I did. But so when he tells you, when the redness of the skies, because that's the most beautiful part.
Very
of the day.
Spiritual part of the day. There's different windows of the day that's spiritual.
And
like
not
Maghrib
anyone,
have his own
not
beauty,
anyone
but
is blessed to wake up and I mean, there's a lot of people who wake up after Fajr, or people who literally go pray Fajr and sleep. They don't witness, when they don't come outside. They don't witness this beauty that Allah has given us. Because it's a change of the whole environment. The sun is coming out. The light is beating the darkness. So imagine you live a life with no sunlight. Allah has blessed you with this as well. This is all a blessing. So when Rasulullah used to see it and cries, it means how should we take this on board? We're not taking this very seriously.
It's a special moment, but we might take it for granted because we see it all the time. It's one of them times if it's unfortunate you oversleep or there's some kind of calamity with your alarm, your phone battery dies, and then you feel sad. You feel like you missed a window, or something was going by and you missed it, and you can't never get that back. You can get
because
money
at that time
the
doors of Ijabat is all open.
Yeah.
At that specific time, and there's only a time limit till it closes. When you pray later, you just get the good deed that you're supposed to pray. But the door of Ijabat is open and only in that period where the sun is, at this peakest. And that's it. Later on, when you're doing it, you're just doing your wajib.
And you know it because you feel that the blessing that time, the peak time.
Exactly. I mean, Allah Subhanahu wa Taala, when He gives us these kind of blessings, when Nabi Muhammad cries for this, it means Nabi Muhammad, which has seen the 7 skies, heaven and hell, for him to come and cry over a sunset, it shows us that we are not thankful for what we have. So Allah Subhanahu wa Taala give us this patience, give us this blessing, make us see what we have in our life.
You know what, Sayyid, after hearing your remarks, we need to hear this dua, inshallah.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم اللهم أمسى ظلمي مستجيرا بعفوك وأمسيت ذنوبي مستجيرا بمغفرتك وأمسى خوفي مستجيرا بأمنك وأمسى ضعفي مستجيرا بقوتك وأمسى وجهي البالي الفاني مستجيرا بوجهك الدائم الباقي ألبسني عافيتك وغشني برحمتك وجللني كرامتك وقني شر خلقك من الجن والإنس يا الله يا رحمن يا رحيم
It's beautiful. Thank you so much.
It's a pleasure. Thank you so much.
So in your own daily routine, how much, you were talking in previous episodes about your father reciting. So is it something that you do in your daily routine?
I try to. If I told you every single morning, I would lie. But alhamdulillah, being blessed with my father, he's awake every single morning, and his voice, when he recites out loud, because when you're praying Fajr, one of the mustahabat is to pray out loud for others to hear. That's the reason why when they say when you pray out loud, it's for others to hear, and they know that someone's praying. Get up and pray. Alhamdulillah, shukr, of course we all shortcome. We all come short with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Some mornings we wake up, some mornings we wake up late, as you said, sometimes your alarm, and this is us not.
That's a human frailty, right?
This is the default that we have. That we as a human being can't fix, but you can to a certain extent.
It's a struggle, isn't it?
We can never be perfect, but we can always be better, right?
Exactly.
We can always do better.
So when you wake up, or when someone come wake you up, there's this thing where you can't control yourself and be like, leave me alone. And this is very natural. It's not something that you can control, by the way, but it's something that's how us human beings work. Now, some people have actually gone to a level where okay, marja'iyya, people, our scholars, they have gone to a certain level where they're able to fight against that, and they're used to fighting against that. Now we're not, because we're not scholars. We haven't been studying since we were kids.
But I guess their trials aren't as menial as ours, because they're knowledgeable. Their maqam becomes higher. They're esteemed. They have a position in front of Allah. And I guess even though these might not be their trials, I'm certain that they're in their own level, that their trials become harder,
of course, because they're holding a responsibility.
Exactly. So.
And they it's same as how we get up every day and go work. They get up every day and go hawza.
Yeah.
So imagine how much we've excelled in work and how much they've excelled within their religion.
They have their challenges. I'm just thinking, the amount of problems that exist in the community, and where's the first protocol that most people end up knocking the door of an alim, even if it's outside of his speciality. People will come with economic crisis, with psychological problem, with health problem, with all kind of...
Every answer they give, they have to hold responsibility.
Exactly.
Well, it's been a pleasure again today. Thank you so much, and that's all we've got time for. Next up is Sister Abu Jafar, and she's going to be discussing the hijab. Is it more than a headscarf?